everybody, I want to introduce the idea of viewports and sheet layers in this screencast, and this is going to be the first part of a two-part series. I'm going to go into sort of general viewports and sheet layers in this one, and then we'll get into a few more advanced options in the next screencast. So sheet layer is, think of it as a presentation drawing. Your design layers is where you do all your design work and your drawing, and then your sheet layer is where you put it all together in a drawing. The advantage of using a sheet layer is that you can have images that are drawn in different scales all on the same page, unlike design layers. Design layers, everything on design layer has to be in the same scale. With sheet layers, you can take snapshots of objects drawn on different design layers in different scales and arrange them on one sheet for printing. You can add a drawing border, you can add text and annotations, and it doesn't matter what scale they were originally drawn. You can get them to look good all on the same page. So it's a really, really, really great presentation technique, and it's pretty easy to do. The first thing we want to do is go up to layers and create some sheet layers. I've already done this. I've created a sheet layer that's called concept plan and one that's called elevations. You can name them anything you'd like, as long as you remember what the names mean, and I'll click OK. Now what I want to do is go to the design layer with the object on it that I want to take a snapshot of, and I will go up to View menu, scroll down to Create Viewport, and I want to give this viewport a name. I'm going to call this Murphy Bed. And I could give the drawing title, if I wanted to title it, could be Basement Project. And I'm going to make sure I display planar objects, and I'm going to leave everything else for now because we can edit it once it's on the screen, once it's on the sheet layer, and I'll click OK. So notice now I'm in the concept plan sheet layer. And my object has been imported in wireframe with this red border around it. This is now my sheet layer page. I can treat my viewport like an object. So if I want to reposition it on my page, I can grab it and move it around. I can also use the object info palette to change a whole host of things. I can change the layer. I don't want to do that right now. I can change what classes are visible. I can change the scale. If I want this a little bit smaller, I can decrease the scale. It hasn't done anything to my design layer, it's just scaled my viewport. I can change the view if I want to look at it from the front or from an isometric view. I can change the view of my viewport. Again, this has done nothing to the design layer. I can change everything from here. I can change the rendering options if I wanted to change this to sketch. Or if I want to keep it in OpenGL, or if I had a RenderWorks texture on there, I could change that. We're not going to get into lighting options, advanced properties in this screencast. I'll save that for a later one. And when everything is the way I like it, I click Update. And there's my viewport. Anytime you see the red border around your viewport, it means that you need to update it, that you've changed something. If I go back to my design layer that I drew this from, I can change the drawing and the viewport will update automatically. So this is a great, great, great tool. Say I wanted to have a couple different views of this. I can duplicate my viewport like any other option. I could Control D, or I can use the mouse, the keyboard shortcut option, and just drag a copy over. So say I want to have this in a different view. I want to have a top plan view, and I want to have a different rendering. I want to have a hidden line, a dashed hidden line rendering. Click Update, and there is my drawing. So let's see, I want to have one more, and I'm going to change the scale on that just so I can fit a little bit more. So I'll go over to the scale, make sure that the viewport is highlighted, click 1/2 = 1 foot to scale, and you can see I get this red border again, which means I need to update. There's the updated version. Now I want to make one more viewport on here, and I'm going to choose Option and drag down a version, and I want to have a left view. So I'll go over to View, I'll scroll down to Left, click Update, and there's the left view of my drawing, and I can reposition it so it looks nice on the page. So a very fast way to make presentation drawings for your object. And here we've gone from a 3D view to 2D views. You can go from 2D views to 3D views and vice versa. So viewports are pretty cool. If I want to add a sheet border and title block to my sheet layer, I am able to do that as well. I grab the sheet border tool, click center, click again, fit to page, and there's my sheet border. I can edit that just like I did in the other screencast with border settings. I can add a title block. I can remove the border if I don't want a border just by zeroing everything out. I'm going to get rid of that, click OK. If I want a title block, I gotta make sure my screen border is highlighted. I choose title block. I'll just go for a simple title block, click OK. I can scale it. And I can edit my note, the title block, and I'll label this Murphy bed. So my new title block is where I want it. My image here is a little bit too big, so I'm just going to rescale it. Click Update and move that out of the way, move that out of the way. I can reposition this so I can get my drawing to look really good. So that's basic viewports and sheet layers. In the next screencast, I'm going to go into using crop images to crop your viewport and adding dimensions and annotations.